Welcome to the Barber Rock Homeowners Association annual meeting. Thank you all for joining us tonight and for your commitment to making Barber Rock a wonderful place to live. We appreciate your time and engagement as we come together to reflect on our accomplishments, discuss important updates, and plan for the future. I'd like to officially call this meeting of the Barber Rock Homeowners Association to order. It's now 7:02 p.m. and we're beginning our 2024 annual meeting. Thank you for taking the time to join us. Before we proceed, I'd like to introduce our current HOA board members. Please note that the official election results are still pending and we will announce any changes once the votes have been finalized and certified. I'm Anna Hunsberger, your HOA president. Alongside me, we have Flynn, our outgoing vice president. Christy, our secretary, graciously stepped into the role in November of 2024, following Sylvia's departure from the community. We want to extend our heartfelt thanks to Sylvia for her service and contributions to Barber Rock. Her dedication and efforts as secretary were greatly appreciated, and we wish her all the best in her new home. I will miss you, Sylvia. We have Mark, our outgoing treasurer, and Kat, serving as director. I'd also like to recognize our committee leaders who work tirelessly to enhance our neighborhood, starting with Amy, the landscape committee chair, Rick, the ARC committee chair. Next, we have Jessica, our outgoing social committee chair, and the incoming co-chairs, Michelle and Amanda. Trey, our pool committee chair, and Alicia, our outgoing decorating committee chair. These individuals have made remarkable contributions in the past year, and we deeply value their dedication. Please join me in welcoming and thanking them for their service to our community. I'd also like to extend a heartfelt thank you to Nancy for her many years of service overseeing the Barber Rock Facebook page. Nancy's dedication and effort in managing this platform helped keep our community informed and connected, and we deeply appreciate the time she devoted to this role. In 2024, Kelly and Brandy stepped up to take on the responsibilities as Facebook page admins, ensuring the page continues to serve as a valuable, unofficial resource for our community. Thank you, Kelly and Brandy, for taking on this role and helping to keep Barber Rock residents engaged and informed. Finally, I'd like to introduce Wellington Stover, our Real Manage representative. Wellington is here tonight to support our meeting and answer any management-related questions. Thank you, Wellington, for being here.
No problem.
The purpose of tonight's meeting is to share updates on our community's accomplishments and upcoming projects, discuss our 2025 budget and financial plans based on the recent community vote, review election results for new board members, and most importantly, hear your thoughts and feedback during the resident comment section. We're excited to have you here as we work together to shape the future of Barber Rock. Before we proceed with the rest of the agenda, it's essential to confirm that we have established a quorum. As required by the Barber Rock HOA governing documents, a quorum ensures that we can officially conduct business during this meeting. As outlined in our HOA bylaws, quorum for this meeting is defined as the presence, either in person or by proxy, of 19 homeowners. This number ensures we have sufficient representation of the community to make decisions. I will now ask our property management representative, Wellington, to confirm if we have met the quorum requirement for tonight's meeting.
We have. Quorum has been met.
Thank you, Wellington. I'm pleased to announce that we've met the quorum requirement. We can officially proceed with the meeting and conduct all agenda items. Now that we've addressed quorum, the next item on the agenda is to review, make any necessary changes to, and adopt the meeting agenda. The proposed agenda for tonight's meeting was provided in advance for your convenience. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for any proposed additions or deletions to the agenda. If you have a change to suggest, please use the raise hand feature or submit your request in the chat.
Anna, I don't see any raised hands and nothing new in the chat.
All right. So hearing no changes, we will proceed with the agenda as presented. With the agenda adopted, we will move on to the approval of minutes from our last association meeting held in December of 2024. The minutes from the December meeting were distributed to all board members in advance of this meeting for review. At this time, I'd like to open the floor to the board for any questions, corrections, or edits to the December 2024 meeting minutes. If you have a comment, please use the raise hand feature or the chat. All right, Mark has a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Seconded.
All right, Flynn has seconded the motion. The motion to approve the minutes has passed. The minutes from the December 2024 meeting are now officially approved. So this next section will provide a recap of our major accomplishments from 2024 and highlight ongoing and upcoming projects that are shaping the future of Barber Rock. This past year was a time of growth and transition for Barber Rock, marked by key milestones and challenges that shaped our community. First, I want to recognize the transition that took place in late 2023, which significantly impacted 2024, the exit of two long-serving board members, Herb Chin and John Karras. Herb and John were instrumental in steering Barber Rock over the years, and their leadership left an enduring impact on our community. Please join me in recognizing their years of service and dedication. With their departure, our community faced a critical period of adjustment as the current board worked to fill vacant positions, understand ongoing projects, past decisions, and operational priorities. Unfortunately, their exit revealed areas where improved transition planning and documentation could have made the handover smoother. One critical issue exposed during this period was the lack of a centralized document and information repository. With no single space to store important HOA internal and external communications, documents, policies, and decision records, the new board had to piece together information from various sources. This created delays and inefficiencies and underscored the need for a centralized document and information repository. In response, the current board has explored tools and strategies to address these issues, including identifying a data solution to centralize and securely store HOA records and communications, developing a draft transition guide to document roles, responsibilities, and ongoing projects for future board handovers. Working with our property management company to identify best practices for maintaining institutional knowledge. We partnered with prior board members to gain access to documentation relating to their community service. A special thanks to Wally Olson and Herb Chin for responding to our pleas and providing their community files. Also, as part of this effort, we created a community HOA website to provide a centralized space for community members to access information, connect with neighbors, and engage with HOA without requiring a Facebook account. In 2023, there was an acquisition of our previous management company, Henderson Properties, by Real Manage. This transition introduced Real Manage's software portal in December 2023, which caused significant gaps in community data in early 2024. Throughout the first quarter of 2024, the board worked closely with Real Manage to restore Barber Rock's historical data, ensuring that our community records were accurate and accessible. The board also dedicated substantial time to reviewing Barber Rock's financial records, uncovering and resolving several key issues. We identified overpayments to the prior landscaping vendor exceeding $3,000. These funds were successfully applied to outstanding invoices, ensuring no loss to our community. We caught incorrect variable invoices from Real Manage, which were flagged by the board and credited to the community's account. Due to the delays in paying vendor invoices, the board acted swiftly to ensure that Barber Rock did not incur late fees when they were charged. Lastly, after persistent issues with performance and communication, the board requested a change in our community management. In August 2024, Wellington Stover assumed the role of Barber Rock's community manager, bringing marked improvements in service, responsiveness, and professionalism. A major accomplishment in 2024 was clarifying road maintenance responsibilities for Barber Rock. For years, the community lacked definitive documentation on whether our roads were maintained by the county, with conflicting opinions from previous boards and county representatives. Thanks to the efforts of Mark Savitsky, the county maintenance supervisor provided written confirmation that Barber Rock's roads are the county's responsibilities. This clarification ensures that our community will not bear the cost of road maintenance, saving Barber Rock an estimated $1 to $3 million in future repair expenses. Lastly, after reviewing 5 competitive bids and with the support and guidance of the Landscape Committee, the board selected Green is Good Landscaping as Barber Rock's landscaping vendor for 2025 and beyond. This decision reflects our commitment to maintaining and enhancing the appearance of our community while ensuring cost efficiency and high quality service. The Landscape Committee played a vital role in addressing critical maintenance and beautification projects throughout Barber Rock in 2024. Their efforts focused on enhancing functionality, safety, and the overall appearance of our community. They worked with the county to ensure proper drainage by facilitating the replacement of a storm drain on Granite Circle. They coordinated the addition of a concrete pad and grading to the Granite Circle drainage culvert, significantly improving both functionality and safety for residents. They stabilized erosion-prone areas at the main entrance, ensuring long-term durability and improved aesthetics. Partnered with multiple arborists to remove diseased willow oaks and implement a treatment plan to preserve healthy trees. Cleared overgrowth in the Granite Circle common area through the removal of invasive vines and poison ivy. Repaired irrigation systems and scheduled a full replacement of the pressure transducer at the front entrance. Enhanced the Granite Circle seating area by applying high-quality topsoil for better grass growth and adding fresh mulch to the surrounding hydrangea beds. They planned the removal of There is a planned removal of the neighborhood library, which sustained termite and mold damage, with a weather-resistant replacement already underway. A special thank you to Dave Baldridge for building this cherished feature that has served our community so well over the years. They've also organized a community cleanup day, during which volunteers spread 140 bales of pine straw and 100 bags of mulch, significantly enhancing common areas while saving the community thousands in costs. Thanks to the committee's leadership, these efforts have made Barber Rock safer, more functional, and even more beautiful for all residents. The Landscape Committee has identified several key priorities for 2025, focusing on enhancing Barber Rock's shared spaces and improving community engagement. There's the Red Bud replanting plan. It's really hard to say. The committee is researching the best replacement options for the diseased redbud tree that was moved from in front of the pool house. The goal is to select a suitable and thriving tree species to restore the area's visual appeal and ecological value. Enhancing common area aesthetics. In collaboration with the newly selected landscaping contractor, Green is Good Landscaping, the committee will prioritize improving the overall appearance and upkeep of our shared spaces, creating a polished and welcoming environment for residents. A neighborhood bulletin board To enhance communication and engagement, the committee is gathering estimates for installing a neighborhood bulletin board. These will provide a centralized location for updates, announcements, and community information, making it easier for residents to stay informed. In Granite Circle refurbishment, plans are underway to enhance and revitalize the Granite Circle area. The goal is to transform this space into a more functional and attractive area for residents to enjoy while maintaining Barber Rock's aesthetic standards and usability. The committee is excited to work on these initiatives in 2025 and looks forward to delivering meaningful improvements that benefit the entire community. With a budget of $3,000 this year, the social committee hosted and planned various engaging events for the community. Despite the challenges of finding a new social chair and busy schedules, they successfully brought the neighborhood together with the following events: the Easter egg your neighbor, car show, end of school water balloons, June ladies night at the pool, 4th of July parade, end of the summer bash featuring bounce houses. We had 3 Halloween events: trick-or-treating, house decoration competition, and the Boo Your Neighbor. The Ladies Cooking Club cookie exchange, cookies, hot cocoa, and photos with Mr. and Mrs. Claus. Private holiday shopping event, the Holiday Light competition, Christmas caroling, Pilgrims Inn adopt a family for Christmas. Hold on, I lost my mouse. Special thank you to Jessica Jacobson. She has served as the social committee chair for the past 5 years, and the community owes her a tremendous debt for all of her hard work and dedication on the behalf of our neighborhood. The 2024 pool season was a success with no major issues or concerns reported. Regular maintenance and diligent oversight ensured a smooth and enjoyable experience for all residents. Thank you to Trey Mask for his efforts as pool committee chair. Before we move on, I want to take a moment to recognize the hard work and dedication of the ARC committee. In 2024, the ARC committee processed 60 applications, ranging from exterior home improvements to landscaping changes. Their efforts have been instrumental in protecting property values and ensuring Barber Rock remains beautiful and a cohesive neighborhood. The ARC members volunteer their time and expertise to serve as a resource for our homeowners and a steward for our community standards. On behalf of the HOA board and the entire community, thank you for your hard work and dedication. 2024 was a year of transition, problem solving, and growth. Through leadership changes, management transitions, and financial diligence, we laid a strong foundation for Barber Rock's continued success. These accomplishments reflect the hard work and dedication of our board, committee, and volunteers, and I want to thank everyone for their contributions. With the 2024 recap complete, let's look ahead to the future as we discuss the 2025 budget. For the 2024 and 2025 budget discussion, let's start by looking at revenue. One thing to note is that you'll see something called unapplied cash receipts in our financials. This represents 2025 dues that were collected in December of 2024. Since we use cash basis accounting, we recognize revenue in the year it's received, even if it's intended for the next year. Another note is it's a positive note, is our interest income, which increased by over $3,000 compared to 2024. This was due to the work of Mark Savitsky to move part of our reserve cash into a higher interest-bearing CD, allowing us to earn more on the money we're setting aside for future needs. Pool costs came in under budget for 2024 because we had fewer repairs than expected, which is great news. These were also management fees were also lower than anticipated, largely because we had fewer violations compared to prior years, saving on associated costs. The largest driver of the 2025 budget is landscaping. The new contract is a worthwhile investment. Not only does the new vendor provide better service, but they're also able to handle ongoing tree work and other enhancements that the community needs. We're also projecting a net surplus in 2025, which will be used to replace our outdated pool furniture. This is another important investment to ensure that the pool remains a welcoming, safe, and enjoyable space for everyone. We're optimistic that the final cost will come in under budget, thanks to connections with a commercial pool supplier. For the first time in 4 years, the HOA board has approved an increase to the biannual assessment fee from $600 to $725. This decision was not made lightly, but it reflects the rising cost of maintaining and enhancing our community. The adjustment ensures that Barber Rock remains a safe, beautiful, and well-managed neighborhood while building financial reserves for future needs. Even with this increase, our assessments remain competitive compared to nearby communities offering similar amenities and services. Our reserve fund plays a critical role in Barber Rock's financial stability, ensuring we can meet future repair and replacement needs while avoiding sudden financial burdens on homeowners. For 2025, we've allocated $38,463 to this fund. This is to prepare for significant repairs and replacements, including fences, irrigation systems, and other shared infrastructure, and to avoid the need for sudden special assessments, ensuring predictable and manageable homeowner contributions. To review and highlight key changes in the 2025 budget, the landscaping budget increased from $56,000 in 2024 to $74,000 in 2025 to support critical tree maintenance, irrigation repairs, and aesthetic improvements in partnership with Green is Good Landscaping. This new vendor has a full crew, which is a big improvement over our previous one-person operation. We've allocated the net surplus funds for the replacement of outdated and unsafe pool furniture, increased reserve fund contributions, ensuring we have sufficient savings for future major repairs and replacements. Allocated $1,000 to improve the HOA website, providing access to community documents, updates, and streamlined communication channels. In summary, the 2025 budget is a balanced approach that addresses our current needs while preparing for the future. The assessment increase ensures we can maintain the high standards of our community while avoiding sudden, unexpected costs down the road. Thank you for your support and trust as we continue to invest in the future of Barber Rock. To strengthen our financial planning further, we are launching a newly created finance committee in 2025. This committee will play an essential role in conducting an internal reserve study, evaluating our current reserve levels against future needs. The findings will help us plan effectively for upcoming expenses and maintain long-term financial health. If you have financial expertise or an interest in supporting this initiative, we encourage you to volunteer and help ensure Barber Rock's ongoing financial success. So I just want to pause there. We have 4 more minutes left for official voting. So I'm going to continue through this presentation. And then once the voting officially closed, we can come back and get the results for the budget vote at that time. All right. So, and I see that questions are coming in the chat, but I can't present and look at them. So I want everybody to know that we are seeing them and they will be addressed in the Q&A portion of the agenda. So you're almost done hearing me talk. So just hold on. So we've already provided an overview of the accomplishments and goals of our committees, highlighting the important work completed in 2024 and the initiatives planned for 2025. These committees play a vital role in enhancing the quality of life in Barber Rock and maintaining the standards of our community. As we look ahead, we want to emphasize the importance of community involvement in our committees. Currently, we're seeking volunteers for the following committees: Pool Committee, to help ensure the continued maintenance and improvement of our pool facilities, and the Decorating Committee. Bring your creativity to this committee by helping plan and execute seasonal decorations, ensuring Barber Rock remains festive and inviting throughout the year. Joining a committee is a fantastic way to make a meaningful impact, meet your neighbors, and contribute to the betterment of our community. Whether you're new to Barber Rock or have been here for years, your input and involvement are invaluable. If you're interested in volunteering, please contact the HOA through barbrock@sierramail.com or reach out to any board member for more information. We now move to the resident comments and questions portion of the meeting. This is an important opportunity for homeowners to share their thoughts, concerns, or suggestions directly with the board. At this time, I'd like to open the floor for your questions and comments. Please raise your hand or submit your input in the chat box, and we will address everyone in the order received. So I'm going to pause talking so we can get the question from Christy.
Anna, Jason asked, when estimates are done for larger expenses, example landscaping, can the board in the future ask for recommendations? I'm going to add from the community. I don't see remembering those asks previously, and the community may have some very good contacts.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. And I'm just answering off the top of my head. I'm sure other board members will want to jump in. And one of the things about Sierra Vote, which you all have experienced and we've recently implemented, is that we'll be able to have surveys as well. So if we have questions like that, we'll be able to get more input from the community. But I think that's a great suggestion.
Next, Wally and Maryland have a question.
Okay, so many years ago when I moved here in 2014, we used to get 2 inspections a month. This is actually to Wellington more than anything. We used to do it on the 1st and the 15th, and the neighborhood actually I thought was a lot better having 2 inspections a month. When you're doing 1 inspection, there's so many days and nothing seems to get done. I've noticed when I walk the neighborhood, we have this thing in our handbook that says you're supposed to have fescue grass, but yet there's this house on Granite Circle. It's been there for years that has nothing but weeds. And other lawns have a big challenge. So here I'm a homeowner spending my money to get my lawn to look like it's supposed to look. We have the covenants, we have the handbook, but I think our enforcement is lacking. So if we have, for example, 10 residents that aren't following the rules, then what's to say the 170 should follow the rules? So that can go to Wellington or any of the board members. That's my question.
I can talk to the enforcement part. We do have someone that comes out and does the inspections. I will double check on the cadence of that, but right now I believe they are going out once a month, and I will have to verify with the contract to see if the contract is still the same as what you are remembering. But we do have someone that goes out and checks for those things. Sometimes with things like landscaping, if it's not something glaring, sometimes that can be missed because when they do these inspections, they're doing them from the car. So we do invite people, if you know of something, of course, to let us know so we can delve into it further and address it. And I will check into this as well. It actually came up not long ago about an issue with grass. And we spoke to the inspector about making sure that, and I was out for that, and I should be getting a report at the end of this month. So I'll be able to verify that and let you guys know a little bit more information.
So you actually don't do the inspections, Wellington?
I do not. We have an inspector that goes out and does those.
Okay.
I do have some communities I do them for, but Barber Rock actually has an inspector, a real managed employee that goes out and does those and does the enforcement part.
So I guess my point is, again, it was go back to when I moved here many years ago, we were better at enforcing, and we have seemed to lost that ability to that enforcement anymore. Because these problems have been around. It's not been months, it's been years. So
Same old problem,
same
different
old
day.
problem. Yeah. So it's just kind of like the same answer, and I'll probably get the same answer in 2026. I don't know, but we'll see.
Well, I will check into it. Like I said, I've only worked with your community for like the last almost 3 months, so I can't give a lot of historical information. But from this point moving forward, I will do some investigation and see what we can do to correct any issues.
Thank you, Wellington. As you can see, I'm not highly confident, but I hope it gets done.
I think one thing that may make it easier, and it's like, honestly, part of me hates this suggestion and then part of me doesn't. This is just me speaking as a human being, is that if you see something, say something. So if you see something that is glaringly wrong or is like, looks horrible, to reach out to Real Manage and let them know, because I think that the frequency and the amount of homes that they're reviewing during an inspection, that it's probably very easy for things, especially like the type of grass, to get missed. Whereas those of us who are walking around the community every day, it's very easy to see those things. So I would encourage you to reach out and report those things as you see them.
Thank you, Anna.
There's a comment in from Jason related to the issues that we have several times where we don't see any correction, and many are for backyard planting and weeds, even when we send pictures.
Yeah. What does the rest of the board, like, what are your thoughts regarding that?
I'm not sure I understand when you say backyard plantings, is it a plant that's not allowed? I mean, weeds, yes, that's one thing, but that would be, I know that Heather in the past said that she could not go into the backyards. So I'm not sure if our hands are tied or what.
And Jason's raised his hand.
Yeah, hopefully you can hear me. So,
Yep.
Plantings that I'm referring to are, some are edible that smell like fish. They're used for salads. It tends to grow onto our property. A lot of things that you see in backyards are overgrowth due to not understanding size of plants. It tends to start growing over our fence. We've sent in pictures. I've asked for assistance to get that remedied, and nothing has happened in several years. So, and the response I get is, it's the backyard. We can't see from the road when we ride through and do our inspection. But I provide, ample pictures. And when I say it smells like fish, it smells like fish. Like if you touch it, it's rough. So I'm not sure what else to do. I'm spraying Roundup constantly. Still being neighborly, but I'm not sure what else we can do here.
Yeah, that sounds super frustrating. And we'll have to work together as a board, and I'll follow up with you and see what we can figure out. I do want to mention, this is something I've mentioned before, but it's just been like here and there. So I want to make sure that everybody on this call also understands that when you send an email to Real Manage, it does not go to the board. Real Manage decides whether or not to forward that communication to the board. So unless you specifically ask for it to go to the board, it's not going to go to the board. But if you're having frustrations, that's one of the things that the board exists for, is to help support community members and interacting with the management companies so they can get the results, or not the results that they desire, but so that there is an outcome, a resolution at some point, and things just aren't hanging out there forever.
And I'm sorry, I had placed a message in chat to Jason. I have not seen anything like that come through since I've taken over the account. But if you have any recent pictures or anything, just send them to the barbrock@SierraMail email address, and I'll take a look at those and see if there's something we can do. It is correct as far as the inspections. We can only go off of what we can see from the car or standing in the street. We cannot go onto someone's property and look in the backyard. But if you have pictures of what's going on, we can definitely take those into account.
Perfect. All right, thank you.
Wellington, if you have a chance, can you, since the voting's now closed on Sierra Vote, can you go through and just pull the results? And maybe Wellington can explain this better than I can. I find it very confusing, but I'm going to do my best. So the budget typically doesn't go to a vote. And what happens is that it's approved unless there is, I believe it's 91 or 51% of homeowners vote the budget down. So is that correct?
That is correct. You guys are in South Carolina. South Carolina operates a little bit differently from your neighbors in North Carolina. But in South Carolina, the board is able to create and institute their own budget. And the budget stands unless there is a majority vote from the community to block it. So you're not necessarily voting for, well, the vote was optional, and I think it's great that the board put that into place to give you guys a chance to have that input. But the vote, the current budget is in place. You guys were given the opportunity to vote to reject it. I just refreshed the tally on that, and again, you needed 91 votes to block the budget. We received only 14. So the measure or the attempt to block the 2025 budget did not pass.
All right, great. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. How many total votes? Michelle wants to know.
Let's see here. It timed me out because I think it's doing something because the vote just ended. Give me 1 second to get back into that. If you want to go on to the next question, I'll pull it back. I'll refresh it and pull it back up.
Anna, we do have Wally and Marilyn that have raised their hand.
Oh, sure.
So I just want to say thank you to all the board members. As a former board member, thanks Mark and Flynn for everything you guys done the last few years. It's hard work to be out there, and it's never easy to try to please 180 homeowners. My hope going forward is that the property manager will go back to a higher standards than they've had in the past, because it's been very disappointing. Wellington, this is for you. The property managers in the past have been extremely disappointing and how they've handled Barber Rock. So hoping that you'll do a much, much better job. And thank you for coming.
You were welcome. And like I said, I welcome any input. If you have anything that you think is not being addressed or have any specific questions, please reach out and let me know. As far as the total number of votes that we received, 64, there were 14 to reject the 2025 budget, 50 to uphold it.
And Jason has asked one last question. I understand planning for the future. The increase in reserves seems high, but can understand the concern. If we see the reserves rising, will this be considered to reimburse or lower the fees?
I'm not quite sure I understand the question. So if we see the reserve rise to the level it needs to be at, is that what you mean? I just want to
Yeah,
make sure.
it is. And if, for instance, we're preparing for future rising in cost, but if that ultimately doesn't come to fruition, we're able to maintain and we're still collecting the additional fee to where we feel like we need, but we see our reserves rising past that point. Are we going to consider having, lowering the fees or, to some extent, just, 25% increase at one time, I think is where the heartburn came from. It's understandable, especially over the last couple of years. But if we see our reserves continue to rise at a substantial number, I'm assuming that will be considered each year, or how does that work when you start looking at actually lowering a fee versus raising?
So, to speak to reserve specifically, we can look at either having what's typically done is either a 70% funded reserve or 100% of fully funded reserve. Ideally, it's a fully funded reserve. And if we reach those reserve levels, there would be no reason to increase assessments based on the reserve. The reserve is like a constant revolving door because funds go in and funds come out for major repairs. And what we really need to do in 2025 is ensure that we have a really solid reserve component inventory with really solid estimates and a really solid timetable, because while we have our current component inventory and it's, I would call very basic, I think that there are things that probably haven't been taken into consideration, but the goal is never to just increase assessments and increase assessments. Nobody wants that. I mean, the board lives here. We all live here. We don't want to keep increasing assessments. But we also need to be realistic about what an aging community requires for the infrastructure and to repair and replace what we currently have. I don't want to go over, but I do want to give everybody time to ask their questions. Is there any other questions, comments, concerns?
Nothing in the queue at this time. No hands are raised.
Okay. So thank you to everyone who shared their thoughts and questions. Your feedback is invaluable and helps guide the board in making decisions that reflect the community's priorities. I really do appreciate it.
Anna, did you want to announce the vote for the board positions as well?
Yeah, I'm that's next on the agenda.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
I apologize. I'll mute myself.
No, you're totally fine. I'm honest. I'm sick of listening to me too. So as part of preparations for this annual meeting, homeowners were invited to submit nominations for open board positions prior to tonight. I'm pleased to announce that 2 individuals stepped forward and volunteered to serve. Anna G., our incoming vice president, pending election certification, and Sandy, incoming treasurer, pending election certification. At this time, I'd like to invite Wellington, our property manager, to present the results of the election for the open board positions. Wellington, could you please share the outcome of the voting with us?
I will. I apologize. I had too many screens open and I missed the agenda on there. We have Anna Grigio with 57 votes, and we also have Sandy with 56 votes. As Anna mentioned, we only have the 2 open slots. So of course, these votes will go to, or these positions will be filled by the 2 that got the most votes. And in this case, we had Sandy and Anna that received those.
So congratulations to our newly elected board members and to thank you for stepping into these vital roles to serve Barber Rock. I love like the confetti and celebration stuff. It's awesome. So as we near the end of tonight's meeting, I'd like to take a moment to recognize and express our appreciation for the people who have contributed to the success of our community over the past year. First, I want to thank all the committee members who have dedicated their time and energy to making Barber Rock a better place. From organizing events to enhancing our landscaping, your work has a direct and positive impact on our community. A special thank you to Amy Livingston and the Landscape Committee for their tireless efforts in maintaining and beautifying our shared spaces. Jessica Jacobson for her years of service as Social Committee Chair, and welcome to incoming co-chairs Michelle and Amanda for stepping up to lead in 2025. Trey and the Pool Committee for overseeing our pool operations. Alicia, outgoing committee decorating committee chair, for adding charm and festivity to Barber Rock. Your efforts are deeply appreciated and do not go unnoticed. Next, I'd like to thank my fellow board members for their hard work and commitment. Lynn and Mark, our outgoing vice president and treasurer, for their leadership and contributions during their time on the board. Christy, Kat, and the entire team for their collaboration and support throughout the year. And welcome to Anna and Sandy, who have joined the board and are ready to continue building on our progress. Finally, I'd like to thank you, our homeowners and volunteers, for your participation and involvement. Whether you joined cleanup days, attended meetings, or shared your thoughts with the board, your engagement is what makes Barber Rock a vibrant and successful community. On behalf of the entire HOA board, thank you again for everyone who has contributed to Barber Rock's accomplishments this year. Together, we've made significant progress, and with your continued support, we look forward to an even better year ahead. As we conclude tonight's meeting, I want to share some key next steps and initiatives that will guide Barber Rock in 2025. Our goal is to foster increased communication, community involvement, and transparent decision-making as we work together to address both immediate and long-term priorities. We're committed to improving communication between the HOA board and homeowners. This includes regular updates to keep you informed on ongoing projects, financial matters, and community developments. In 2025, the board is committed to increasing community participation and convenience by moving towards a virtual format for meeting and communications. Virtual meetings allow more residents to participate from the comfort of their homes, accommodating busy schedules and increasing overall engagement. Bi-monthly community-wide board meetings where you can share your input directly with the board will start in March, around March 18th of 2025 at 5:30 p.m. We encourage you to attend and participate. With the implementation of SeerVote, we're excited to roll out regular surveys and opportunities for homeowners to weigh in on major decisions and expenditures. This new tool will allow us to collect community input efficiently and ensure that decisions reflect the majority's preferences. These moves align with our commitment to transparency, inclusivity, and making Barber Rock governance more accessible to all residents. Some of the significant initiatives slated for 2025 include conducting an in-depth evaluation of our reserves and ensuring we're financially prepared for future repairs and replacements, facilitating a community-wide discussion and decision on whether Barber Rock should implement rental restrictions to preserve the neighborhood's character and property values, working with the county and utility providers to update and improve street tree guidelines, ensuring compliance while maintaining Barber Rock's unique aesthetic, finalizing the replacement of outdated pool furniture and enhance the pool area for 2025, and continuing to gather input from the community on other priorities and areas for improvement. Before we wrap up, I want to quickly address a concern raised by several residents about the ongoing issue of beer bottles being left around the community. I've reached out to the sheriff at Lancaster County Sheriff's Department for guidance on how we can address this issue effectively. Once I receive a response and further updates, I'll share them with you. So I thank you all for your patience as we work on resolving this. Thank you all for your time, your commitment to our neighborhood, and your participation tonight. We look forward to working with you in the year ahead to build on our progress and make 2025 an exceptional year for Barber Rock. That concludes all items on our agenda for tonight. So that's, you don't have to listen to me talk anymore.
Anna, just one other item. At the start of the call, you did ask each of us to go ahead and if we want our presence recorded in the chat to add your last name and then your street address. I think we got most, but not all. So just another call out that there's still time if you want to go ahead and put that in the chat, and then we'll record your attendance.
And I will, if there's anything else, we have 7 minutes left. So if anybody has any questions, comments, concerns, that's, we got time, 7 minutes. Wally?
Yeah, Wally again.
Hi,
Rental, the covenants say the only way we can rent under our covenants is you have to rent the whole house. You can't rent a part of the house. Is there something we're changing there?
So the rent a whole house, no, there's nothing. I want to make sure that there's like it's very clear language and that the entire community is aware of that, because we have had instances of individuals renting rooms. And I just want to make sure that, and I know that there's been other community members who have brought up the question of having rental restrictions as far as not allowing rental properties in the community at all. But that is a community-wide discussion that needs to be had. That is not a board.
So would this also include like Airbnb or VRBO type stuff?
My understanding is that Airbnbs and like the VRBO are not acceptable under our current CCRs and bylaws.
Okay, that's good. That's good. It's good to hear. I'm happy to hear that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, but I want to make sure that those things are clarified.
Yeah.
Because I think that it adds, it's important because it uses a lot of our resources, people at the pool, it's just.
Yeah. I'm so glad it's on your agenda. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Great meeting, everybody. Well organized, professional. Great job. Yeah, I guess you'll be president for life.
Anna, there was one additional question, and we would love for you to be president for life. I speak for myself. An internal reserve study, what does that entail? Can you be more specific on what efforts are planned for 2025?
So I don't think at this time I can be more specific on what efforts were planned for 2025, other than what I've already went over in the presentation and at the end of the presentation. But when I say internal reserve study, what I mean is a reserve study that's conducted by the finance committee for our community prior to incurring the cost of having an external reserve study completed to conduct one internally first. So that's what I mean. Good night, Wally.
Anna, no more questions, and I've captured all of the homeowners that wanted to list and be placed on our attendee list.
Okay, great. Well, do I have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I second the motion.
All right. All in favor of adjourning the meeting? Give a thumbs
Okay.
up. And all right, that motion carries. The meeting is officially adjourned at 7:57 p.m. Thank you all for attending and have a great evening.